Local parents are seeking justice after their 13-year-old son was accused of allegedly wearing blackface to a football game, resulting in his suspension.
Did masking really work? What UCSD has to say.
It's been 30 years since the Northridge earthquake. What's changed since then in terms of preparedness and safety? I'll have that story coming up.
Parents are calling interference on a proposed law that would ban youth tackle football in California.
Plus, a drop in San Diego County home prices. CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
Local parents are fighting for their son's reputation and record after they say he was accused of wearing blackface to a high school football game. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. The 13-year-old boy attends Muirlands Middle School. CBS 8's Ariana Cohen talked with the attorney representing the teenager.
The 13-year-old Muirlands Middle School student is referred to as J.A. in order to protect his privacy.
It's just ludicrous.
Today, I talked with attorney Karen Swigart, representing J.A. in this case. In October last year, J.A. wore black face paint to a football game between La Jolla High School and Morse High School. The complaint reads J.A.'s friend painted dark paint on his cheeks, temples, and chin, emulating eye black warrior paint, often displayed by fans and athletes at games. In the complaint filed, it reads the school's principal, Jeff Luna, characterized J.A.'s face paint as blackface. J.A. was suspended from school for 2 days and banned from attending all future school sporting events. In the suspension notice, it's listed as a hate incident with offensive comment and intent to harm.
For them to take an innocent activity of just having, going to a football game and cheering for the other team, and out of nowhere, with no evidence, say that this was a hate crime is just a ridiculous leap in logic. He had never even heard the term. He did not know what blackface was. It was a new concept to him.
In the complaint, J.A.'s parents are seeking the removal of the suspension from his record and are requesting permission for him to attend future games.
There was no disruption at all on campus. There was no disruption at the game. This was a non-event that the school turned into a hate crime. And it's just so overboard and so unnecessary, and you have children getting hurt in the process.
J.A.'s parents are also seeking punitive damages. The next step is to set up a hearing date for a preliminary injunction in the coming months.
As an attorney, I have been dealing with an alarming number of situations, clients calling me with similar things. And these school districts need to stop. They need to stop throwing innocent children under the bus.
We reached out to the San Diego Unified School District and have not yet heard back. Both schools' principals and football coaches have not commented at this time. Ariana Cohen, CBS 8.
Thanks, Ariana, for that update. Burglars hit a JCPenney store overnight in Fashion Valley. The alarm sounded at about 4 a.m. Mall security found a broken second-floor window leading into the store, and police saw that multiple jewelry cases had been broken, with watches and expensive pieces of jewelry missing. No suspects have been identified, but one of them left behind a bag and a crowbar. We don't know yet the exact dollar amount of the items stolen. Right now, jury selection is underway in the trial against a jailed doctor and nurse accused of involuntary manslaughter in the death of a pregnant inmate, Elisa Serna. Both Dr. Friedrich von Lintig and nurse Dana Lee Pascua are accused of negligence in Elisa's death. The state medical board says she experienced heroin withdrawal before she died. Elisa was one of 16 in-custody deaths in San Diego County during 2019. The trial is expected to begin next week. San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria is in our nation's capital this week for the U.S. Conference of Mayors winter meeting. Mayor Gloria spoke during a panel discussion on the fentanyl crisis and talked about San Diego's efforts to get a handle on the problem. Tomorrow, the mayor will moderate the meeting of the conference's LGBTQ Alliance, along with Madison, Wisconsin's mayor.
Masking and proper ventilation worked together to save lives during the pandemic. That's the latest from a newly released UC San Diego health study. CBS 8's Kirsten Holmes took a look at the study and asks, would we be willing to do that again? Kirsten.
Yeah, researchers here at UCSD Medical Center say that not only did masking save their doctors, patients, and nurses, they say it could save them again if we get into these winter months and the COVID-19 pandemic numbers go up. RSV is running rampant, and we also are dealing with the flu. But the question we wanted to ask people, Are you willing to wear that mask again?
We were preventing transmissions. Simple measures used in simple times along with good ventilation really makes a difference.
Dr. Francesca Toriani says UCSD collected more than 12,000 virus samples from more than 35,000 patients from November 2020 until February 2022. They found most COVID-19 virus transmissions happened outside of the healthcare setting. Dr. Toriani says they conducted a genetic analysis of the strains, contact tracing, and analyzed the data.
So not only a genetic relationship, but also was the person there at the right time to support that transmission.
According to their data, masks and proper ventilation was key because the study found that most COVID-19 transmissions occurred outside of the healthcare setting. UCSD research says most transmissions happened in break rooms and lobby areas.
That allows us to make decisions that are much more reasoned and less onerous on people. When we do say, it's time to mask up, please do so because it does protect.
But will you go back to wearing a mask?
Sometimes it was annoying, but I think I wouldn't mind it at all if we had to put our masks back on again. It's totally fine by me. And most of the time I feel safe, especially when I had a customer that came like really sick, like coughing in my face. So wearing a mask definitely make me feel secure.
No, man, I don't want to wear a mask. I just want to keep living. Just be as natural as possible, Just keep going.
Okay, so this study also says that even when hundreds of healthcare workers were getting infected every week during that Omicron surge and waves, healthcare workers were no more likely to transmit or catch the virus in a hospital setting than any other healthcare setting. They say that their masking and those ventilation guidelines actually worked. Reporting for CBS 8, I'm Kirsten Holmes. Back to you.
Kirsten, they're saying those tools worked. Are they saying that those are things we should be going back to right now? Is the situation bad enough we should all be wearing masks again, in their opinion?
They are not saying that we all need to go back to wearing the mask. They are saying it works, that better ventilation and wearing a mask will better protect you, but they're not saying let's all change all the laws and everybody go back to masks.
Kirsten Holmes reporting live for us. Thanks, Kirsten. At last check, CHP is looking for the driver of a car involved in a chase and wrong-way crash on the 94. This happened early yesterday morning after a routine registration check found the Toyota Prius was supposed to be non-operational. CHP says the driver exited to 30th Street, ran a stop sign, then made a U-turn back onto the freeway going east in the westbound lanes. The Prius collided with a Nissan Altima. That's when they say the driver jumped out and ran away. 4 people suffered minor injuries. Anyone with information should call the CHP. Home sales are down across the state, and we're seeing a drop in prices in San Diego County. The median price of a single-family home in the county was about $912,000 last month. That's down from $952,000 in November. Statewide, the median price was just under $820,000, down slightly from November. The California Association of Realtors says cooling inflation and an expected drop in interest rates should create a more favorable market for 2024.
Today marks 30 years since the devastating 6.7 magnitude Northridge earthquake.
The CBS 8 Shannon Handy takes a look back at that day and the lessons we learned from it.
The Northridge earthquake was so powerful, it was felt here in San Diego. 30 years later, a lot has changed, including the way structures are built and how and when to alert people.
Well, the Northridge earthquake was a tremendously powerful event.
It was January 17, 1994 at 4:31 a.m. Geologist Pat Abbott was inside his San Carlos home when a strong jolt woke him up.
I was really surprised even more when we learned that the earthquake movement was actually to the north, away from San Diego.
The 6.7 magnitude earthquake centered in Northridge near Los Angeles. It lasted less than 20 seconds, yet caused devastation that's taken decades to recover from. Nearly 60 people were killed and damages totaled in the tens of billions of dollars.
Freeway bridges collapsed, apartment buildings collapsed onto parking lots, 500 fires got started.
Abbott says a lot of lessons were learned in its aftermath, leading to significant changes.
Retrofitting is one of the biggest things. We now recognize that buildings standing up on steel poles are going to collapse. That's what we call a soft first story. So we have retrofitting in those buildings, more retrofitting in masonry, brick buildings, things that are real rigid.
Other structures, such as freeway overpasses and bridges, have also been retrofitted. Building codes for new projects have transformed as well.
It's a lot easier to upgrade building codes before a building has been built than it is to try to get people to go back to retrofit, because a lot of times the retrofit expense is more than the building is worth.
Earthquake, earthquake.
On top of that, advanced technology has allowed experts to alert people at least a few seconds before an earthquake's waves reach their location using an early warning system called Shake Alert.
If you're at the epicenter, you're on your own. The farther away you are, the more warning you get.
Together, all of these advancements have helped save lives, but Abbott warns there are certain things not under our control. For starters, there's no way to predict exactly when an earthquake will hit. And here in San Diego, potential damage such as sea cliff collapses can't be prevented either. Still, he says if that happens, we're more prepared than ever before.
In terms of retrofitting, the state of California now offers grants to help homeowners do just that. To see if you qualify, log on to CBS8.com and click on this story. For CBS 8, I'm Shannon Handy.
Thanks, Shannon. Still ahead, the clock is ticking again toward a possible government shutdown.
Plus, the major renovations at one of Balboa Park's iconic buildings.
City lights, and also talking about the cloud cover that's out there for downtown. We have a current temperature of 57 degrees and some calm winds. Temperatures go up a little bit more by tomorrow before they come down, and we're looking at a chance for rain this weekend. Those details are ahead.
Up next, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s plans for a new political party and the problems it may cause for the presidential election.